Welcome to Dassault Systèmes 3D Experience Forum. I'm Daniel Newman, Principal Analyst at Futurum Research, and we are live. And I'm excited about this last live segment here at the Dassault Systèmes 3D Experience Forum because I have Dean Marsh, the North American Managing Director, here with me. You're kind of new at Dassault Systèmes, right? I mean, this is a...
Yeah, this is day 97 for me.
So day 97,
day 97.
MCing, hosting the big 3D Experience Forum. Tell me a little bit about your background and kind of how you wound up here.
How did I end up here? So, you know, we've been here for the past 2 days at the 3D Experience Forum, and it just has solidified for me, you know, the fundamental reasons why I'm here. This is a great company, right? We're doing some exciting, amazing things with some very exciting companies that are just breaking new ground all over the place. And so it really harkens back to my background. I started off as an engineer. I went to Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, studied to become a materials engineer, worked in the steel mills, worked for aluminum, right? Then started working in the aerospace and defense industry, making parts and for missiles and jet engines. And so I went back to school and got my degree in computer engineering from Rensselaer. And so it was a blend of engineering, computer science, and came up through IBM. So I spent last good bit of time at IBM. And this place allows me, this company allows me to bring all of that together. So first of all, we're a scientific company, right? Really focused on engineering and how you manufacture and produce products. But we provide a platform that, you know, brings the cloud, computer science, all of it together that enables engineers, designers, manufacturers to do amazing new things. So for me, the journey here, this is a culmination of, you know, a long path up through engineering, product development, product marketing, and now the platform.
And in all kinds of different industries, which you guys as a platform company, this works out really well because you guys touch almost all those different industries, you know, manufacturing and aerospace and defense, and you guys are a platform partner, so you can lean on some of those experiences to guide the growth in all those different verticals, which is interesting. Another thing that I've been told that you have a little background in is cloud computing. And I've done a whole bunch of interviews here, but I haven't really talked too much about cloud. Now, in your time, you know, with IBM and such, you've kind of watched this progression of cloud. And one of the big progressions has been it being an IT thing to becoming more of a business thing. What are some of the evolutions that you're seeing in cloud computing, you know, as you step into this role, and some of the big changes that you've kind of you know, seeing in your everyday life?
Yeah, so Dan, you know, cloud used to be a buzzword. Nobody understood what cloud was about. You know, all my stuff, it's up in the cloud, right? Where's the cloud?
Why do they look up?
It's clouds, right?
Nothing actually up there.
So, but you know, it's become much more of a business imperative, right? Resources are finite, resources are scarce, whether it's computing resources, electricity, data center floor space. And so people were looking for ways to, how do I get, you know, it's the age-old question, how do I do more with less, right? So how do I reduce my footprint? How do I reduce the consumption of resources? How do I get just-in-time resources to project teams that may be spinning up, spinning down? How do we give those resources back? So now we've evolved to a point where the cloud is the delivery mechanism for just about everything you're doing now. So when you're storing your photos, right? If you're storing music, if you're, you know, just about anything you're doing, it's going up to the cloud. But the same is true with business, and what's driving business today is data, right? Data is the new oil, right? For businesses is what makes things flow. And having that data accessible on demand from anywhere in the world. So for example, let's say you're doing a design in Detroit for a new car, right? That car may be getting manufactured in South Carolina. The advertisement for it may be getting done in London, right? And you may be doing your website in San Francisco with a firm there. Having all of that information accessible on demand, it's just game changing. It's enabling companies to do things that they couldn't do before, right? In time and speed and cost that they couldn't do it before. But it's also enabling companies to focus on their core competency, right? So if you're a startup and you're trying to get the next new thing to market, you don't want to have to focus on the IT that's helping you produce that. You want to focus on your idea. So with the cloud, spin up an environment, ideate your idea, right? Get it into production, you're off and running. And that's what we enable people to do by putting things in the cloud.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. And as the edge compute power grows and edge to core, I mean, you're only going to see it become more and more powerful because almost every little environment can become a data center, right? In the manufacturing space, where they're building prototypes. And now, of course, you guys help them build less prototypes, and at least the right ones, but still, having these harsher environments where data center level cloud is taking place, and then they get the power of their core data centers, it's unbelievable.
Right. But think about it, with the cloud, nobody even thinks about the data center. Nobody knows where it is. And you saw a really, this been a rough couple of months. We had Harvey, we had Irma, we had, earthquakes in Mexico. Fires in California. It's been tough, but, the resiliency that the cloud offers, right? Not having the data center and the redundancy to be able to fail over from what data center on one side of the country to the other, to be able to get your operations back up and running. That's some of the benefits that the cloud offers.
Almost seamless, because most of us probably didn't experience any notable outages in our workflow because of all those.
Exactly.
Which 10 years ago probably would have been completely different. So let's shift here a little bit. You're going to sort of be sitting in this front row seat, leading North America, and you're going to be witnessing a lot of innovation happen because your platform is sort of at the core of innovation. I talked to Bernard Charles about Boeing. We've talked about Tesla. We've talked about some of these great things that either you're involved in, you're a partner, you're part of the ecosystem. And what are some of the innovations that you're most excited about witnessing in this role of leading North America?
Yeah, so we've been here at the 3DEXPERIENCE Forum the past couple of days, and just the presentations and panels and discussions that we've had here have been, it's been incredible. So we talked to Honda, right? And they talk about, within their culture, the Genba, right? And it's really, the Genba, how do we have, and they have three joys of, the joy of manufacturing, the joy of designing, the joy of buying and selling a car, right? Those are some of the things that we're seeing, a new approach to creating experiences. We talked about the Living Heart Project, and we had a life sciences company on stage with us, Biomedics, right? Now, what they're doing is they're 3D printing bodily organs with tissues and materials that mimic the function, let's say a heart or arteries. Wow, enabling doctors and surgeons to see what's happening in your body. So not just some mock-up, right? But we can scan and then 3D print what's happening with your arteries, your heart, and prescribe medicines.
I just want to jump in there too, because there is an interview for anyone out there listening with the Biomedics. I had a chance to talk to him yesterday, and he walks you through it. So there's like a 10-minute little video that will be out probably in the next coming week. So just because what you just shared is exciting, and if anyone out there's listening, I like to always give them a chance to say,
totally
hey,
fascinating.
Go check this video out, because I was blown away. And then I got to see him talk more on the main stage, and I was like, God, there's so many people out there that probably have thought about times that they've been told, oh, there's nothing we can do. We can't operate. We can't take the risk. It's too dangerous. And now it's like, with what they're doing, you could try it. You could say, you know what, let's take the risk on the 3D, on the model, and see maybe this is possible. Just think of the advances in life sciences and health sciences that could come with that type of technology.
Exactly. It's enabling, when we talk about 3D, right? The difference between, in the evolution from 2D to 3D, being able to visualize, see, touch, feel, right? Whether it's, a living tissue, whether it's a prototype for a new car, and, some of the more mundane things that we interoperate with, elevators, escalators, right? Being able to, so just think about this one. The next time you're on an escalator, what do? You stand on one side, and everybody stands on that side, and you have the guy who wants to go up faster or go down faster, he goes down that side. When everybody stands on one side of an escalator, where does that put the weight? right? So it stresses. And so now you have to be able to model the fatigue functions, when is this thing gonna fail? How do I do maintenance on that? So, we have this concept of 3D Experience Twin, right? And for one of our major clients, we're able to do a 3D Experience Twin of their escalator to help them, model, how do I design this for this environment? And each one of these escalators is custom. So you think about here in this hotel, the steep angle that it goes up, the amount of traffic it's gonna get. I had a really fascinating conversation with an elevator designer and the difference between high-speed elevators going up in high-rise buildings and an entirely different approach you take to design with air currents and air flows and the speed, and it all has to be taken into account to make that a smooth ride up that elevator shaft while having that elevator be safe, right? So those are the types of things. What I'm really excited about is some of our partnerships like we have not only with Boeing, but the entire, like NIAR. We had John Tomlin on the stage this week, and one of the first things I did when I joined Dassault Systèmes was go out to Wichita, right? So, I'm on Wichita, so where's Toto, right? We are in Kansas,
Don't take me
right? away. But Wichita, as it turns out, I never knew it, is the aircraft manufacturing capital of the world. Right? Not only airframes, but landing gear and other components of the aircraft. And to see just a new mode of education. So what's happening in America is we are training, the jobs are changing, right? Yep. The amount of skill required to do the jobs of today and tomorrow is changing. However, not everybody's ready to go, straight to university, become an engineer, but you need to be able to work these computer-controlled machines. You need to be able to work, a manufacturing process. And so students are getting hands-on education. They go from the classroom to a manufacturing facility, and it's not theoretical anymore, right? We're training the workforce of tomorrow, supplying skills into the employers and enabling new innovations to come faster while promoting both a new kind of education and a new workforce.
So it's safe to say you are excited. So I got about a minute before we got to wrap up, but I want to ask you one last question just for fun. Tell me something that's been surprising, a discovery that you've had since starting that maybe you didn't expect at all when you started at Dassault Systèmes.
Wow, a surprising discovery. What is surprising to me is how many different industries that we are working in and creating experiences. So we're working with a partner called CAD Makers, for example. And when you think engineering, right, you think about cars, planes, trains, automobiles. But whoever thought the amount of engineering that goes into a building, right? So you've got to run the electrical, you've got to run the plumbing, you've got to run the code, you've got to be able to withstand the elements. CAD Makers is delivering an experience, we call it the 3D Experience Twin, of how do you not only plan, certify, and produce a building, right? I would tell you one other thing that I find really fascinating is the amount of 3D printing and additive manufacturing that's going on. We are 3D printing materials like Inconel. Whoever thought you could 3D print Inconel, but really intricate aircraft parts, that are being 3D printed. Now, what that does is it changes the entire paradigm of how you think about design. So one of the questions that was asked is, why are most of the holes round, right? Because you drill, right, in a straight line. But what if you could 3D print an elliptical hole that, bears the weight better? So these are some of the really fascinating things that we're helping designers and engineers do and creating entire new experiences in the future.
Like George Blankenship said, when you imagine the impossible, and that's kind of what your 3D experience platform is
allowing. It was impossible until it was done.
It was impossible until it was done. Now, I'll just tell you this. I want a really, really sweet pair of 3D printed sneakers. That's my goal. I want to get totally customized footwork. I've spent all week, the additive, it's like I can get a pair of shoes that are going to be so perfect, they're going to look exactly like I like them, and it's going to be because of what you guys are doing. D. Marsh, thank you so much.
Thanks, Dan.
Really appreciate having you. From the 3D Experience Forum, Daniel Newman, Principal Analyst at Futurum Research, signing off for now, but it's been a great time, a great event. We hope you tune in, and we will see you all very soon.